This is Jerod Lakefield, a novel by Don Fensler, part number 21. Iowa Aftermath. Something had changed this evening, something in me, something in the air, something in and on this earth this evening. After this game, I was bound and determined to have a conversation with Jerod. I wanted to know who he was, before God took him away, which I knew was bound to happen. For some reason, this thought was obsessing me, the thought of him leaving this earth. He was in the locker room after the game. There were other people around him, and he seemed happy, smiling, joking. But somehow I felt like it was all an act. I wanted to talk to Jerod, but I knew if I just said, "How about we go get a bite to eat, Jerod?" he would refuse, or at best it would be with him and several other players. I wanted to talk to him alone, so I came up with a brilliant idea to pull rank on him, to tell him I needed to talk to him. I walked up to Jerod and stuck out my hand and said what I was feeling after I shook his hand. "That was the greatest performance I have seen anywhere, Jerod. Live or on TV, I have never seen anything like that," I said, then oddly added, "Thank you." I then said, "I need to talk to you about something. Could you come to the coach's office for a few minutes whenever you're free?" I had no idea what to give him as an excuse for why I wanted to talk to him. I couldn't very well say, "I want to talk to you because I want to find out who you are, and someday God is going to take you away." So I said nothing. I gave no reason why I wanted to talk to him. He looked at me, and there was a pause, and he said, "Sure." The calmness of his eyes and words disconcerted me, and I turned and went to my office and waited. I was as nervous as shit, and I had no idea why. He came about 10 minutes later. He said, "Hi, Coach," and came in and sat down. He was on one side of the desk and I was on the other. I felt small, nervous, and dumb. I was determined to find out what I could about Jerod Lakefield, try to break down the wall. "What do you think of today's game?" I asked. My voice sounded weak and tin-like. "Good," Jerod said. "Good?" That's all he said. "I thought they were going to blow us out," I said, struggling to get control and equilibrium. "And we ended up blowing them out. This was a Division I school. Do you realize that? This was a Division I school." Jerod looked at me, paused. I was feeling stupider and more out of my depth by the minute. "It doesn't really matter," Jerod said. He said it very calmly. "We can always win." There was another long, awkward pause. My head felt like a fucking bowling alley. My brain was throwing fucking gutter ball after gutter ball. He knew something was up and said, "What do you want, Coach?" he asked. Shit. Then he looked at me with those laser beam eyes, calm as the wind. "Is everything okay?" he asked. Double shit. "I never get a chance to talk to you," I said desperately, trying the all-be-candid tactic. My voice and legs were shaking. "You're the best player at St. Cloud State, maybe in the whole country, and I don't know anything about you." This felt like it was working. I felt better, more at ease all of a sudden. "This was a game that will go down in history," I said. "Tonight and tomorrow you will be on ESPN. People will know about you." "But I don't know anything about you. Where did you come from? How did you learn to play basketball like this? You're a legend already." Then added lamely with a nervous laugh, "A St. Cloud State legend." But then there was this long pause. Jerod looked at me, not staring, not looking at me. I was no longer at ease. I had totally lost what I had a few seconds ago. I shifted in my seat and cleared my throat. I felt all the calm and peace right now of a drowning man in the Pacific Ocean. "You and Coach Tryon are good coaches, I guess," said Jerod finally. "That's why we won." He said it with a soft smile. There was another pause. I learned basketball because this is what I need to do." And then he smiled. There was some kind of undeniable power and meaning in his words, but I had no idea what they meant. "What do you mean?" I asked. I was not expecting an answer, and there was no answer. I felt like a drowning man in a sea of fucking molasses. The pause was too long here, too awkward. "Can I go, Michon?" Jerod Lakefield asked me. Michon? No one called me Michon. It was either Coach or Lomax. This was not going well. I was no longer closer to my goal of finding out about this man, Jerod Lakefield. "Are your parents living in Minnesota?" I asked him. "I don't have any parents," said Jerod. His eyes were now boring into me. There was no smile. Jerod Lakefield did not look happy at this moment. "Coach," he said, "I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I just want to play basketball. We have to leave the rest of it alone." We have to leave the rest of it alone? I was fucking dying. This was so stupid, asking Jerod to my office. I had nothing to ask that mattered that he would answer. Now it was up to me to end this awkward meeting with some dignity, to reassert myself. "It's one of my jobs as coach to learn about our players," I said bravely. "I'm more than a coach. I'm a teacher, counselor, parent, and whatever you need." Then I made a lame joke. "If you get thrown in jail, I hope you'll call me to bail you out. Ha ha ha." "I appreciate that, Coach," Jerod Lakefield said calmly. "I promise not to rob a bank until the season is over." He said this with a quick smile that just as quickly fucking disappeared. The eyes were drilling a hole through my forehead. "You're doing fine, Michon," he said mysteriously. Michon again. "I'm doing fine. I want to ask him. Sure, I'm doing fine. I want to ask him about the times he looks so sad, especially at the times when he should be the happiest, after a win and after a magnificent performance. He looks sad right now, but not sad in a weak way, but in a profound way, powerful way that made me feel weak and silly." "Okay, thanks for coming by, Jerod," I said, weak as a kitten, then added hollowly, "Nice game." "Nice game? What am I doing?" I felt like kicking my own ass up around the block, booting it for a 60-yard field goal, then stuffing a barrel of dirty gym socks in my fucking mouth.